Hello, welcome to my channel. This is Darcy's Misadventures with Mixed Media. Oh, and my dragons are merging. Merge dragons. There's an event. It just gets left on while they work for me. Except I just realized that they need space. Alright, so if you watched my last video, my previous video, I started making covers for some, I don't know, I just call them flow journals. They're kind of like a Midori style. It's going to have removable pages. And I was using the gel matte medium and it was a mess. I did, this is what they look like with their third layer on right now. And they're still drying. So this third layer I use vintage book pages. So I've got an architect book and a library. Well, it might have been from a library. Dictionary. So they've got a couple different colors for interest. So I did that. And I made one more, which is 1, 2, 3, 4, which is not in that pile. That's weird. Oh, this one, which I did with masking paper, which is interesting because you can see that there's words behind the masking paper, but you can't necessarily read the words, which makes for an interesting inside to the cover. So I'm doing another one of masking paper, but I'm not using the wet, messy gel medium this time. This time I'm just using glue. Just glue. Trying to simplify the process. And I thought, well, if I'm able to simplify my process, then in case you guys decided to make these on your own, then you need to see what I've done to simplify the process. So, let me pull out some more of these pages. These are just the crossword puzzles that they make a decent base. And the only problem with me doing it this way is my hand's gonna be so sore by the end of the day. And I was like, okay, my glue's been working like this whole time for like the last layer of those 4 and all the layers of that one. Now it's probably gonna stop working, right? As soon as the camera goes on, the glue gets glue gets camera shy, maybe. I don't know. So I'm just gonna do a few layers. I think I went a little overboard on the layers last time. It's pretty thick, but that's okay. I'm going to want these to be somewhat soft covers, but if one ends up being a little more rigid than the others, that's alright too. So, by the time you see this though, it will be Monday, because I don't want to overwhelm you with a bunch of videos all in one day, you know, and then have like none the whole week just because like I was like all, ooh, I want to make a video with my randomness. So what I'm going to do with these is after I get them all thickened up and got all the pages on there, and I'm going to come back on and go through all the steps. So what I might even do is do like step 1. Like, leave one blank so I can show you step 1. I'll do it like they do on cooking shows, I think, maybe. So that you don't have to see things dry in between. Does that make sense? I don't know. Maybe it makes sense, maybe it doesn't make sense. I thought it was interesting, though, that the masking paper showed the words through. And then if I do these, like, squiggly, circly things, it's a little bit more attractive on that side too. And I didn't even cut this layer down. I'm just going for it. Just going all around the edges and in the middle and getting a good solid layer. It may end up that I add smaller bits to the top, but I think these are mostly going to be mixed media with some painting and stamping and gesso and ink and all the fun stuff. I would like for them to be mixed media, so. And just using up some supplies that I have more than enough of, you know. Let's see, this one goes up, so now I want this one to go the opposite way. Or I'm gonna, yeah, you'll see what I'm gonna do. So yeah, I just thought I would show, you don't have to use the gel matte medium. You don't even have to use, this is just quick dry tacky glue. You can use just regular tacky glue. You could even use a glue stick. Whatever it is that you like to use, that's what you can use. You just getting the paper down. That's the main important bits. That's the important bit. So this is where my second layer I'm starting now. That's the one thing, is I was like, one side was a little thicker than the other side because I missed a corner on that. I think I did it, I don't know. I messed up my thicknesses, let's put it that way. It's alright. That's how it is. Sometimes that's how it is. Alright, so that one was like that. So this one's going to go like this. Trying to give it as much strength as I can while still having kind of a soft-ish, a pliable cover. I want it to be pliable, let's put it that way. And then, did I ever fully explain the pocket notes? Did you guys? I'm still waiting to find out if anybody's heard of pocket notes. I'd never heard of them before. So in the pocket notes, I'll have like whatever size the pockets are. Some papers, you know, either just some scrapbook paper or jelly print paper cut down or whatever. I don't even need the one in the middle. This all covers it pretty well. And I'll probably put some like whale tail tabs, and I don't know. There's so many things that could go in. So I think you start with like a piece of card or paper that you put in each pocket, and then whatever else you want. So like someone had put like beads and stuff in the middle pocket, so then they just put washi tape on that to keep it closed, to keep them from falling out, you know. And I've been thinking, oh my goodness, I have so many playing cards and index cards, not index cards, well I have a lot of index cards, but I was, last year when I was on my shopping spree of emotional, you know, dealing with my emotions by shopping, because my grandpa died and my brother had cancer, and that was just how I dealt with it. But I was like, you know, did it with thinking, okay, I can sell these in my Etsy shop, and they just sit in a box. And then when I do put them up, nobody buys them. I suck on Etsy. Etsy just doesn't like me, I think. This might need one more layer. So but I'm trying to figure out how to get as many as I can while still keeping it a letter and not I don't want it to get past the 3/4 inch, turns into a package deal, you know what I mean? And if you have like a stack of cards, it doesn't take much to get them to be thick. But then when I saw the pot, and I had been thinking, you know, maybe I can make some pockets and so I can spread them out and have them not get all clumped up in the mail. And then Penny showed us the pocket letter, and I was just like, that's how I can send stuff in the mail. I have those, and they don't cost too much. I mean, you don't have to keep that, or you can use it and pass it on to someone else. It's just, it'll help keep things flatter in the mail, basically. And I guess essentially what people do is they fill the pocket letter and then fold it into thirds and put it in a regular envelope. But for me, I'll just put it in a big envelope even and just put in as much as I can, or two. I just want to be able to put as much. I'd rather someone pay shipping once and get more for their money. Does that make sense? I don't know. Alright, so corner number 1. So yeah, so this is just another way to do the cover. You don't have to do like I did in the last one that got all wet, and then the third layer I did use this method with this glue because and it helped to make it a little less wrinkly on top too. I mean, granted, they're going to have like really nice texture because of how I did it, but... And actually, these almost feel like the recycled envelopes, they're just not crinkly like the recycled envelopes. So when they have that white stuff in the middle that are like crunchy and sound and feel kind of cool, that might be a little thick for things like tags. 'Cause I tried making the cover for the music journal out of those, and I was doing all this, and I really would like just enough to get this last one on before it dries. Let's see. Where am I? Which? I might have gone the wrong direction with some of these, but I don't know. Gotta clean my glue tops, don't I? Kinda, big time. But that's alright. Oh. Well. I'm gonna have to cut that off anyway. So I might as well just use that. And hope that I don't cut too far down, because that's just throw the cover. Who cares about that cover? I don't need no stinking cover. Oof. Nope, not far enough. Oh wait, what was it somebody did? Oh wait, there is a hole in there. I hate that because the scissors squeeze it. I should have done it the other way. There's another way you could do that, and then you would have a smaller hole. I gotta remember that next time. Or find another one that's not open and switch the covers. Definitely get a lot more, glue out that way. Alright, so I got a good solid 3 layers on here. And so my 4th layer will be the vintage. The very vintage and brittle. This is actually pretty brittle. We're still in the A's. I'm just going in order with my dictionary pages. And for the architect pages, I'm just looking for ones that either have interesting pictures or not a lot of pictures. Or charts. I like charts. I don't want all my charts on one page though. Charts on one side and molding or something on the other side. That's fun. Let's see. Let me start with just something easy and simple. And I can overlay. I'm good with that. This is really thick. This right pretty much where the fold is going to be, pretty much what that is. Oh, that was another problem I had when I did the papers on the other one. The papers that were on the fold got really messed up. But if that happens again, I will probably just put a piece of fabric on the spine on the outside if that happens again, just so it looks, so it'll still look pretty. That's all. I just want it to look pretty. Putting that on the outside. And I'm not worried about the direction. And I may add more papers, so I'm not worried that my papers are sometimes a little bit on the large size. And my edges are going to get cut off as well, because if you remember my measurements from the last video, I have them about at least half to 1 inch larger. So on each side, so that I can have some wiggle room at the end of all this. So there's that. And then I think I will sew around the edges when everything is, if it's not too thick, I will sew around the edges. One of these might end up being too thick. That's all I'm saying. So, and I'll let these dry overnight before I do anything else to them. Although I am itching to get some gesso going on all this. But I really need to let them dry overnight. It would behoove me to do that. Nathan, I hope you're getting something to eat. There's glue all over my fingers. The sugars are low. That's what that noise is. I'm just getting more glue. So yeah, I'll be using some gesso and maybe even some clear gesso because you had it on the... yeah, I moved it to the stool. So as long as Tally doesn't go in there, it should be fine. I don't know what you're saying, Joel. I am recording though. Just saying. Just papers flying. It's fun. Papers flying is such fun. I like layers. And I cannot lie. Did I miss any? Oh, the bottom and top here. Let's see. I know, this is like really... I don't know, can you see? The light's not great. It's nighttime. It's really fragile paper. But, you know, gesso and paint and all that will strengthen it all. That is really thick glue, too. I will just cut off whatever goes over the edge. Well, plus I'm cutting off the edge. I'm not too worried. Okay. There we go. So, that is 6 covers ready to have the next step done. And so probably this is only 16 minutes. So you may actually not have to wait for the next video because I may just attach it to this one. I just wanted to be sure to show another way. So I think the next video I do may just be the gesso. Some white gesso, clear. I might do a couple different ones. I might do some just clear and some white. And I may add a little bit of music paper here and there. We shall see. So, in case I don't merge them, have a delightful day, everybody. Love you. Hi, welcome to my channel. This is Darcy's Misadventures with Mixed Media, where we play with sharp things. So, if you're a child, do not play with sharp things. I'm cutting down my books, and I've gessoed a couple of them, but not all of them. Let's see. Oh, I have one left. So I thought I'd show you the way that I've figured out is the easiest way to just cut them down is I fold it in half first. Because if I fold it in half, then I have a straight line to start with. Otherwise, I can't tell where there's a straight line because, I mean, I guess if I started on this side, I might have been able to, but I couldn't before. I just couldn't figure it out. So, and I don't have a lot to work with, so I'm just cutting off like 1/4 of an inch over here and then whatever I can on the other side because I want this to be 9.5 inches so that I can have enough room for my eyelets on either at the top and the bottom for my string to go through and still be able to not have to cut any 8.5 inch papers. I've done it closer than that before, but yeah. So then I line my 2 edges, and this is the problem I've been having is I don't always cut even the first time. I don't know if my ruler moves or what. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9.5. So I come to my half line and my half line. So I line up my lines, the top and the bottom, and just kind of, you're not supposed to press really hard when you do this, except for, you know, I kept pressing hard before. It wasn't really making it any better, so. Plus my wrist will hurt at the end of the day if I press too hard. And then this way, I want it to be 6.5. So I'm lining up my corner on the side and the bottom, and 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6.5 if I can make it. Yep, I got a half. That way, I have a little bit of room too, so that if it ends up being a little bit fatter, I still can cover the, you know, I just wanted plenty of space. A lot of my pages will only be 5.5, inches wide. Some will be 6 inches wide. But I have that option. And I am finding that I am getting, well, not so much on this one, but on a lot of these, I'm getting the cracking on the edge. So after I'm done decorating them, I will be putting a piece of fabric here, which will also reinforce the spine. And then I'll decide if I want to just put book tape in here or a piece of fabric. One or the other. I'll do either fabric or book tape in the middle, and I'll do fabric on the outside, which is probably just like a piece of Osnaburg or something like that, something neutral. Oh, all right. Some of these have been gessoed and some have not. I saved some to do with you. This one I just covered it in, it's just matte white paint and some clear gesso too, a combination of the two. So the words still show through a lot. I mean, a little bit, just not a ton. And I was trying to see if maybe I painted it first, it wouldn't crack as much, but almost seems to crack more when I do that. So, lining up my bottom line here to get nice and straight. Cutting off as little as I can down here because who knows what I have at the other end going on. So look, I actually saved 2 for you and I didn't even realize it. Be careful with the blade. Mine probably, I think I've been using it for almost a year now. And I have not changed the blade, but I don't use it all the time. See, the problem with old paper is it gets all weird when you cut it. Okay, straight line there. I just kind of try to make sure it's straight, and then if it's not, I know 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9 and a half. So it is a good thing I didn't cut much off at the other end because I wouldn't have had, whoops, much left on this end. Nice if you go straight. And if you have, I mean, you could try this with your trimmer. But, I mean, this is fairly thick, so you may end up getting stuck on it. Unless you have the rotary one like I have. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 and a half. I mean, I know that it's going to be wherever the half line is here, but still. It doesn't hurt to count. I don't know, maybe I was way off on my first ones. So now I have them cut to size, and so now I need to, of course, I need to go through with my art glitter glue now. I just used the quick dry tacky glue and apparently did not go all the way to the edges. So now where it's lifting up here, I need to just kind of go through and get those down really well. Those seem to be okay. And get down all my edges. And some of them just came apart because I don't know if that will help. And I went plenty over and it still did that. So. And I don't think that using the gel matte medium would have made a difference because I think that's what I did on another one where I had that same problem. And so, yeah. Simplest way to fix that is to just put fabric. You're going to want to reinforce your spine anyway. So a little piece of fabric's not going to hurt it. It's going to enhance it. If anything, it will enhance it. With this one, I was hoping using the gesso everywhere, all over the whole thing, would help seal it. But it's not. But I can't get under there either now. Like, it sealed it enough so I can't get the glue thing under there, but not enough to where it wants to. See the spine? All that paper in there is just all a mess. And I thought I glued stuff pretty well, you know? And still. So I'll just remember when I'm decorating it, I don't have to be all, you know, don't worry about this spine part, it'll get covered. Let's see, this one I haven't done anything with yet. But yeah, but for some reason I just don't get to the edge with my glue bits. It's you can see, where there's lots of places that are... What? She's just meowing at me all day. Maybe I should try... Well, she's probably... What time is it? Yeah, now she can eat. A few hours ago, it was a little early. Alright, what happened here? Don't know what happened here, but let's hope a little glue will help. And yeah, that one just comes to the edge, so that's fine. Normally you don't want your pages coming right to the edge like that because they're gonna lift up, but that's okay. Okay, this one I did clear gesso all over in hopes of sealing it, but there's still a couple of places where it looks popped up. And then I'll probably still do some. So yeah, even though I did the clear gesso before I even folded it, still came up. It's alright. It's alright. It's alright. Whoops. And then when you try to put one down, the rest comes up. Alright, where are we here? So my next step is to... This is fragile paper too, so that doesn't help. But I was figuring on painting over it. This is how I was, you know, figuring it would be okay. We'll see. The end result, we'll see. Almost if I could get like the glue just around the edges, almost like a fabric. What is that called? The stuff that you put up, fray check. That's what I need for the edges of my paper. Which is this. The art glitter glue works nicely for that. But yep. So this is covered with, where it's lighter, there's still something there because I used some clear gesso as well as white gesso on that one. Some of these I use a brayer, some I just use my finger. And I've just used this matte. You can use gesso, you can use white acrylic paint. There's no rules. I think gesso might be a little more transparent. But yeah, we have military words. I did not keep the incendiary device one. I threw that one away. I was just like, you know, thumbs up, umbrella, those aren't as bad. What is $1 a year, man? Businessman or individualist contributing his work to the war effort on a volunteer basis at the pay of $1 per year. Huh. Gestapo head bucket. The new deep steel helmets issued to American soldiers for active combat. Huh. Yeah, it's an old dictionary, and it had I don't want to cover that much, which is why I have the clear gesso as well. What do I want? Tell me what I want, because I don't know. I mean, I could just grab a white probably, but I think it's wet enough still. I didn't want to cover that up quite so much. So let me get some clear gesso over here too, because I kind of want to seal it. That doesn't want to come out. I want to seal this is the paper, and some of it I want to obliterate, some of it I want the words to show through a little bit, and you know, I want variation. I guess that would be the point. Also, I forgot, I want to take this out. I don't want paint again all over my cutting mat, which is why I see I'm already getting paint all over my cutting mat, which is why I bought a glass mat, but then, which I could cut on my glass mat. I do realize that. I just feel better using my cutting mat, not just because it needs to have a reason to stay. Just give me a reason, just a little bit's enough. Just Just a second. Open, just bang. I can do this. Don't mind me. Let's not just throw that on the floor. Let's actually get it into the trash. That would be delightful. There we go. Because the glass mat is much easier to clean. In case you're wondering, why does it matter? That's why it matters. See, where were all these pieces sticking up before when I had my glue in my hand and was trying to do that? Nowhere. I did not see them. I could not. So look at that. How did I not see that before? Was I only looking on one side? I don't know. We're just going to hope that paint helps. Okay. I want a little bit of the clear on the edge here, I guess. Oops. And of course the middle doesn't matter because it's going to get covered with fabric anyway, so might as well do a nice good coat of paint to protect it. That phone's dead. It's not going to tell me who's calling. But we can pretty much guarantee it's spam. If it's important, they'll leave a message. And no one ever leaves a message. I mean, they either start talking while the guy's still saying, please leave a message under the beep. Or they come in after the beep and they're like, how are you today? And I'm like, well, I'm not on the phone, so if you weren't a robot call, you would know that an answering machine picked up. There, this is, you won't be able to tell where the clear gesso is until after it's dry. I'm trying to cover it. I'm trying to get a full coat though, because I don't think that paper is going to survive if it gets like the inks on it, because that will be one of the layers. Normally I would just do like, you know, hit or miss. Sometimes there's gesso, sometimes there's not. But today my paper is old and fragile, so I kind of did the on this back I did more clear gesso in the middle, and I'm doing the white acrylic matte on the edges. Pretty much, for the most part. I'm just trying to get it all, and then kind of just blending it all in. We'll see how it looks when it's done. We shall see. Alright, and another way you could do it is you could just take your fingers. So like I could go in with my white gesso and just kind of get my edges and kind of blend them together, sort of. And then I can go in afterwards with my clear gesso so that I see the rest of what I want to see. Does that make sense? So now we'll take the clear gesso and cover the rest of this. Normally, yeah, like I said, normally I would leave some paper, because what's one reason that people like to use gesso is because it the liquid, the dyes and whatnot pick up differently on paper than gesso, and vice versa. And so then you get you know, a variation in your dye colors. But when your paper is old and fragile, you're just gonna, I don't know, because all paper's different. I'm afraid that it'll just start to come off, so that's why I'm doing the clear gesso also over everything. Now I'm going in with a clear gesso, because the paint and gesso will also strengthen. At least that's what Andrea Artie May says. My arm's starting to get tired, man. What's up with that? Then I'll let these dry, and I will come back in the next video and start doing the mixed media stuff on them. So even though it's still white, we could still see, but some of this is going to clear dry, but we can still see words, which is cool. I'm starting to dry a little bit. I don't remember what that one looked like, but so that's a couple different ways to do it. And then you could also just use your brayer. Like if I take the white and just do the brayer over it to get some variations of white. And then I can go over that with the clear. Yeah. Get that off of there. When I first started doing mixed media, I was watching Martha Miami Small Art, and so I was buying stuff based on what she said. You know, she's like clear gesso, black gesso, heavy gesso, all the things. And so I have all those, but I have not used them up because then I got into junk journaling, and it took me a little while to be like, hey, I can do both. So now I do both. So my channel used to be called Discovering Darcy, because my kids are just grown. They're now, well, that was like a couple of years ago, I guess. They are 20 and 25 now. Wait, what's today? One's about to be 26. This week he turns 26. Joel turns 26 this week. So they so you know, they don't need me. And even my seasonal job I was doing kind of ended because I did taxes and my people moved. I don't think I have clear gesso on this one yet. So I just, you know, I do a little bit here for them because they have clients here that sometimes need a little something. You need to fax their stuff or whatever, so I do that. But it takes way less time than, you know, 50, 60-hour weeks, which is, you know, sometimes what it was. I think 70. I don't know what my highest number of hours in 1 week was when I was doing taxes. It would get up there because I would work 6 to 7 days a week during the busiest time. So, but I like that I could work hard for 2.5 months and just be at home with my kids the rest of the year. And now, fortunately, my husband makes a little bit more money than he used to, so it kind of balances it out. And then I don't really work for them now. I do some things for them. Or I did the brayer with the. I think I'm gonna do a little bit more though, maybe. I don't know. Or maybe a little palette knife action going on with the. And maybe bang stuff around. You know, that would be fun. Because yeah, you could also use your palette knife or your big giant scraper if you want to cover more space. So different things give you different effects. I will not remember which I did which on. Truly, I will not even remember a little bit. I will let these dry flat. I will not fold them out until they're completely dry. But I'll probably leave them open as I'm working on them anyway. So yeah. So yeah, you could just use, you don't have to be specific about anything. You're just getting some interest in the background. So there's that. Now let me get some clear gesso out. So the clear gesso is to protect, the white gesso is for interest. I think I said that like 5 times, so I think I covered that, didn't I? I've got 6 covers I'm working on. This is my first journal mass make. You know, we're not up to Tsunami Rose's number or anything, but Daisy does a lot in her mask makes. But it wouldn't really make sense for me to do mask makes that big because I don't have that many customers or subbies or whatever. And even my number of subbies don't equal the number of people that watch me. I think a lot of my subbies are just from like groups where like people are just need subbies, so we subscribe to each other's group, but not everybody watches everybody that they've subscribed to. Sometimes they don't even check them out. And fortunately, sometimes they do, and they're like, oh, there's a little gem in the rough. It's me. I'm a gem in the rough. The rough is my desk. Right? Right. Right now, it's super rough. Alright, so here we are with the covers. Got them all gessoed up and cut down and ready to, well, once they're dry, ready to start. My first layer will be stencils, so you'll see that in the next video. So I hope you all have a delightful day. I accidentally got more white on there than I wanted, but that's okay. That I may leave this right here. I may not cover that up much. That I might get some dye on it. I mean some ink on it and stuff, but I'm not gonna. I want to leave. I want it to show. So I don't remember if have I got to the B's yet? I don't remember if the B's had a picture or not. Nope, I'm still in the A's. I could go through and do the whole alphabet, couldn't I? Or maybe the next group will have the B in it if I decide to use this paper. I gotta use this paper somehow, and I can't use it as book pages, so collage it will have to be. I'm gonna keep it on my desk, and every time I do collage, it's gonna get some of these book pages in it. These very fragile dictionary pages, which have a beautiful color. Alright, well, you all have a wonderful day. I believe this is going out today, which is Monday. So happy Monday. Joel is out at Six Flags. His best friend is taking him there as a birthday present. And he hasn't been to an amusement park in, I don't know, since high school, I don't think. So, yeah, her mom was like, yeah, she likes to party and dance and have fun, like, you know, at family parties, not like drinking parties or anything like that. And I didn't say it, but I'm like, yep, Joel's an adventurous one. He'll be up for that, because I think I told you in the last video, the beginning of this, when I merge them, it will be the beginning of this video, that she was teaching Joel how to do the bachata, which is her favorite dance. So the bachata, I think it starts with, not horchata. We're not talking about the drink. The drink I've heard of. I have a friend who makes that likes to make that at Christmas time. The horchata. So yeah, he was learning, and he was practicing the steps. So it's her favorite dance. So he will probably learn how to do it well, because he's so sweet like that. All right, y'all have a delightful day. Love you.